I'm very pleased to be interviewing Michael Sotto, a licensed mental health counselor who will share valuable insights about stress management and work life balance. Hi, Michael. Could you tell us a bit about your work at Defining Moments Counseling and Education Center?
Sure, absolutely. So I've been a counselor for about 5 years now,
Mm-hmm.
and I primarily work with people that have a trauma background or a trauma history. Since I've been a first responder for so many years, I try to specialize in giving back to the community. So I work with a lot of first responders, EMS, fire, as well as people that just have traumatic histories.
And also those who are very stressed, right?
Absolutely. Those that are very,
Yeah,
very
yeah. So,
stressed, yes.
yeah, could you please share with us some simple ways we can do to help us cope with stress at work, especially if, for example, we have a demanding boss.
Okay, one of the biggest things that we have to understand about stress is that for different people, everyone has something that they can really appreciate about life. Would you agree? There's
Yes.
something that we can find some kind of gratitude in. Because everyone has the ability to control something as simple as what they touch, what they feel, or even how they give themselves permission to just take a few deep breaths. And I know it sounds really corny. We've heard it before that just taking a couple of deep breaths is going to make everything better. But here's the
Yes.
key to really managing stress. If
Mhm.
you give yourself permission to find something that you have a lot of gratitude or appreciation over, that actually changes your body's physiology at the same time that you're giving it permission to just kind of breathe through your day. Does that make sense?
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
How about for parents, huh? So, what advice could you give to parents who are stressed because, for example, their kids don't follow them or are spending too much time on their tech gadgets?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a really, really good one. That's a great question because we have a lot of parents that unfortunately struggle with how to manage the balance between gaming, TV, phones. And
Mm-mm.
one of the biggest things that I can do there, or when I do work with parents in that avenue, is that I would really suggest to create rituals of connection that don't include those things. So, for instance, if we're going to have dinner, we don't have phones at the dinner table. If we're going to have a time of the week where we're not going to have on and we kind of encourage our children to have conversations with us, board games. I mean, when's the last time that a family sat down and played like Monopoly?
What if they say they're too bored? What do you say to them?
As far as the children,
Yes.
yeah. So that's actually a common thing. And one of the things that is interesting about when kids say that they're bored is, believe it or not, it's because they're overstimulated,
Oh.
which is what the television or the cell phones mostly, right, or the
Mm-hmm.
games, they actually overstimulate their nervous system. So
Mm-hmm.
when that stimulation is not there, boredom is actually a symptom in many circumstances of a little bit of a problem. So what we can do in terms of managing that is offering a different type of stimulation. So what does that look like? Literally going on a hike, doing something that's going to be outside of the home where they can still have the comfort of knowing that their cell phone's in their pocket, but they can't get any reception.
What advice would you give to people who are feeling lost and feel that their life is out of balance?
Oh, that's a really good one because I work with that quite often. So, as a matter of fact, the first responders in your community are probably the ones that suffer from that hugely because they look at their own lives in terms of this is who I am, not just this is what I do, right? When you kind of think about working with people that say that their life is out of balance, the very first thing that I would say is give yourself permission to find out what your personal values are. Like, what are the things that are important to you? You understand that are important to you, you're actually going to be less stressed because you're going to start making decisions based on what's important to you and stay away from the things that are not important to you. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. And lastly,
So,
yeah, yeah.
go ahead.
What advice could you give to couples who are experiencing problems in their relationship due to stress?
Oh wow, that's that's a very big question because that's a so if 50% of my practice is working with individuals who are stressed out, the
Mm.
other 50% is working with couples.
Yeah.
So so couples who are experiencing stress, Is there any way that you can make that just a little bit more specific? Because I got three areas in my mind
Okay.
that I'm trying to.
What if they're having conflict with like spending time with each other?
When it comes to relationships, there's three basic areas that I look at. The first one is what's called the friendship system. Second part is what I call managing conflicts. And the third part is what I call having a very good shared meaning system. If you're a couple and you're stressed out, one of the things that I'm curious about is there something in the relationship that is like a conflict that's not resolved or
Mhm.
something that's unsettling, in which case we got to learn how to manage conflicts a little bit better.
Mhm.
But the very first thing that I can give any couple is when you work on your friendship system, that actually buffers the stress from poor conflict management. So here's
Mhm.
three things. The first one is A, get to know your partner
Mhm.
better. In other words, take time out to ask your partner things like, since we've started, since we've been married or since we started going out, what kind of things have changed for you in your life? What
Mhm.
are the things that are important to you now?
Mhm.
Basically, ask more questions to get to know who you're with. The second thing is make sure that you give yourself permission to share more fondness and admiration.
Mhm.
So instead of, so the goal here is basically to build a culture of appreciation. What you want to do is, in very small ways, to really find ways to appreciate the person that you're with, right?
Mhm.
That will buffer you from poor conflict management. The last one is make bid for connection. And what that means is literally just as often as you can say yes, not
Mhm.
yes, but. So if your partner comes up and says, "Hey, I want to go to X, Y, and Z place," and then you look at her and say, "Yeah,
But
but," well, that's not really helpful, right? Hey,
yes.
I had a great idea. I got a Groupon for us to do this like sip
Mhm.
and paint thing over here, and then you look at your partner and say, "Yeah,
But
but." So the goal is to say yes, let's do
yes.
that, not yes, but. Does that make sense?
Yes, makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much, Michael, for taking time to take the interview, and more power to you.